All right, if anybody's watching, just give me a minute. I am sharing this. This might get a little echoey or something, but I'm going to go through YouTube to actually share it. If you can still hear me. Okay. Come on. Sharing away. Oops. Copy the link. And we're going to go into MeWe and I'm going to share it there. Back to StreamYard. Am I live? Yep. Okay. You hear me? I just shared the link at 100 places. I see we have 3 people already. Sorry, it took me a minute. I was just sharing the link. If you guys can hear me, let me know if I'm 5 by 5. If anybody's here. Okay, now we're down to 1 person. Hello, hello. Let me know if I'm 5 by 5. Yeah. Okay, good. I guess you're the only person in right now. Uh, what do you want to talk about? Open discussion night. Apparently, me and you until other people come in. Any ideas? And you're welcome to show on up if you want to try again tonight. Again, the thing is open. I will share the link again because I don't see it. Paste. Chat. What do you mean back on the right and left side of the screen. Don't know what you mean. What's wrong with the left hand side of the screen? Either way, let me start the conversation, I guess. Let's see. What you guys all want to talk about? There's a lot of things out there, I guess. I showed you pictures of my leg. I guess that's all metal that's in my leg. A ton of screws, about 17 of them, if I got it all right. That's how bad I messed up my leg either way. I know one of the guys in your group was asking about keels. I only know so much. Yeah. Although I have been told with the metal detectors that it should allow me to pass through because it's some type of special metal, but who knows? I mean, it could be worse. It could be, it could be it. It could be not. I don't know. I see we have two people. Whoever you are, you're more than welcome to join the chat uh, and definitely come on up. If I have to, I can repost it again. Oh, no, somebody's not here. Never mind. I posted it once for now. Um, yeah, people are more than welcome to come into the chat and actually join the live if they want. The more the merrier. Keeping Todd off screen tonight, though. uh, but yeah, the metal in my legs, regardless, it's going to suck for me regardless. The cold really does affect it. I don't know if it's the metal or my bones. Probably both. But yeah, like I said, anybody new joining, you're more than welcome to come up here if you want. Uh, open talk night. Anyways, anybody have any questions? Want to know anything about anything that I might know something about? And if I don't, you have a topic you want to talk about? Hello. Like I said, uh, I don't know how to pronounce that name. Griff Gaspremi? I'm sorry, I can't pronounce this name. Forgive me. Um, but yes, hello. Uh, yeah, I might end up with arthritis because of it. Um, for those people that don't know, I basically was showing him photos of my leg and basically all the x-rays where I have metal going up and down through my leg. Simple enough. And if you want to see any of them, give you an example. Uh, that's some of the x-rays. That's metal, and a whole bunch of stuff. You know, and that's just one of the sheets of x-rays. Oh, Amy. Hello. Yeah, Amy, you're more than welcome to come up if you want. You could talk with us. More than appreciate somebody to come up here. Oh, okay. Well, nice to see you here. Like I said, open discussion, whatever anybody wants to talk about. um, I said I noticed in one of your chats, Ryan, uh, earlier, guy was talking about keels. I can cover a little bit of that. I do know enough about boats. Well, you can lurk, but it'd be more fun if I had somebody up here talking with me. The only rule is no nudity, threats of violence, or any of the major things that would get me banned or something like that. I'm sure you won't do that anyways. Okay, enjoy. Um, but yeah, like I said, there's certain things I know things about and certain things I don't. Um, hello, Joe. What do you mean by PT? unless you mean PTS, in which I'm not sure what you're thinking of with it. Is that discussion you want to have?
Wait, did you leave it out here? Ian's looking for his shoe.
I don't know. I didn't see him even bring it out.
Yeah, I didn't think so, but well, he's fine.
Uh, that was my roommate, folks.
Uh,
Anyways, nice to see some people in here tonight. Well, does anybody want to talk about anything? Like I said, it's open mic. Give me a topic. And if I don't understand it, please explain it. I'm more than willing to. Um, if not, I'm going to start by talking about something. I just got to think about something real quick. Sorry if I haven't thought of anything. You guys want to talk about infrastructure? We could use a better infrastructure, right? I'm sure you all know that. But it'd be nice if the government actually put money into the infrastructures instead of making these bills that, you know, say they're for the infrastructure of the government. Yeah, yeah. So, they say a bill is for the infrastructure. It's a problem, and they end up literally going in and paying for all these other little things which aren't necessary for it. How about actual supplies or paying people to actually work? Well, we don't really do too much of that. We pay a little bit. Most of the paid work is for somebody to literally sit at a desk and push paperwork, right? How about actually paying people to actually do the job? And that's a good point, Joe. Um, well, I mean, in my case, I don't know about other people, but in my case, when it comes to that, I look at it based on situation, and I look at it. Survival is usually the best option in 90% of the cases. The only time I would think I'm better off dead is if it was going to be a long suffering death, regardless what I did, because I wouldn't want to suffer. You know what I mean? Like if it was completely nuclear fallout and I'm just going to starve to death and do radiation poisoning and die that way, I wouldn't want to do that. You know, but if there was a way for me to survive, not get all this poisoning, last a few years healthy, or at least something like that, that's where I would go with it. And like I said, anybody's welcome to come up on the chat and join if you want. I see we have a new person that just showed up, number 4. It's nice to see that we have 4 people. But yeah, that is a way to deal with it. I was going to go with infrastructure, but if you want to talk about that, not a problem. Um, any other suggestions here? I'm looking, or until you do, I'll go back to the infrastructure part. Um, like if we were to actually build in our infrastructure, we would need to remodel some things. And I hate to say it, but get rid of some old buildings. One of our biggest problems is we have very old, decrepit buildings. You know, also need to prep according to their physical limitations. And yes, that is true. Um, in my case, though, I'm stubborn. So as much as I know down deep, especially recently with my leg, I have a lot of limitations. Okay. It may not be permanent, but well, some of them will be. But I'm gonna keep going regardless. I'm stubborn. I'm too stubborn not to. You know what I mean? And sometimes willpower does work out. Um, There are many things people can do, and I would suggest if you were going to prep and you want to, no matter what, I would suggest even if you don't have a vehicle, a major prepping vehicle, get a bike. It's quiet. You can put an engine on it, and it'll get you at a far distance, farther than walking. And you could probably carry your pack a lot easier with a bike if you were to bug out that way, if it was something that you were willing to do. But you're right. The ultimate question is, how are you going to bug out? I prefer to have a vehicle that is like my house. I can live in it. I can enjoy it. I can survive very long in it. You're absolutely right. True. That is very true. And everybody has their own little talents too. That is extremely true. Willpower is a big deal. I hope I'm not losing people because I'm boring. See, we had four, and now we have two again. At the first, it was very overwhelming because there is no you can buy, but once you're down, yeah, and some people have to think about, their own physical limitations. Um, but still, you can over willpower will overcome quite a lot. It's not over till you're dead. You know what I mean? No matter what you're going through, it's not over till you're dead. Death is the final key in a lot of things. So I'll be blunt and I'll be harsh with it. Some of you might be women, so please forgive me, but I'm going to be straightforward. You could be getting tortured to death. You could be getting murdered. But until your heart actually stops, you keep going, unless you give up. You could, women, men, it happens to men too. You could all be getting raped, but if you still push forward, you could get through it eventually. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are a whole bunch of bad things that could happen to people. The question is being cautious, try not to let it happen. But if it does, use your willpower, fight through it. Your own willpower will get you through it. And don't succumb to it. You know, don't make it a norm, not for survival or anything else. Fight and figure out different ways. Think and use your head. Those are the main things you can do. You can use your head, you can think the best you can, and figure out whatever you're going to do. Okay, if you were going to do something like that, those up here is actually the best weapon. A lot of people say it, and a lot of people go, "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah." But honestly, I could do more with this and these two hands that I have than I can with anything else. Yep, I've been there recently. It almost killed me when I broke my leg and my back. Falling as far as I did, it could have killed me. Yeah, I mean, y'all saw my leg. Those of you that did, I mean, that's pretty harsh. And I'm coming back from that. I ain't giving up yet. It's all about willpower, and it's about using your head. Yeah. Regardless, it's a matter of having a belief that you will make it through. If nothing else, you basically keep your head down low and you run. And I hate to steal this from a show called Firefly. Okay, they also turned it into a movie called Serenity. But it's like they said: you keep your head down, you run. When you can't run, you crawl. When you can't run, you walk. When you can't walk, you crawl. When you can't crawl anymore, you find someone to carry you home. Yeah, I hear you. I've actually been there myself with that one. Um, but yeah, those very words that may have come from a movie, but they ring true. They ring very true, you know? And it's an important thing. I see four people back. If you want to come in as a guest and you want to come up here, be my guest. We're down to three already. Hey, well, we're getting people. Um, yeah, that's how you push through everything. I don't care what anybody else says, if it's about the weapons you bring with you or how much food you bring with you. That might make your life easier or harder depending on the situation. But I mean, having a firearm could actually make you a target, believe it or not. I hate to say it. So if you do have it concealed, have it out of people's eyesight. 'Cause you don't want to be a target. Okay. Sometimes just having a cane or a walking stick is a better weapon because they don't see that coming. Yeah. Um, People survive some of the worst conditions, extreme things. And like I said, it may not always be someone trying to attack you. It just might be bad weather. You know, people in hurricanes, they survive by using their head. How do you get water? If you prepare it in advance, that will help you. But how do you get water? How do you get out? Where's your safety point? Where can you go to actually find higher ground or something safer? These are all important things. And that's just a hurricane situation. You know, a lot of people refer to New Orleans, Hurricane Katrina, and that, you know, knowing where you're going and what you're doing. Okay. Big issues. Knowledge is probably the best power you can actually have. Because I'm going to tell you, eventually everybody else's stuff is going to go away. And if you can make a fire, if you can make a place for you to sleep out in the woods or something like that, or if you could find a way to survive or find a way to make clean water, you're going to actually hold more power than the rest of them. And yeah, you might have people that are more violent depending on the situation, but that's not the case in every case. Sometimes it's just people trying to survive. We, yeah, there's a lot of things that people deal with on a regular basis. Um, you know, natural disasters are probably going to be, well, nowadays it might be a little more people oriented or war oriented, but most cases in the past, most of your prepping needs were based on natural disasters because that's what your immediate threat would be: flooding, earthquakes, depending on where you are, wildfires, tornadoes. Yeah, I can name them all. And those are things to prep for in that area, depending on what you're doing, you know? And like I said, your biggest prep is your head. Okay. I'm going to tell you one of my favorite survival tools I have right over here. I'm going to show it to you guys. It's going to be a simple tool. This right here, a simple drill, hand drill, no power, no electricity, no nothing. Okay. It's a simple drill. You know, this, think about it. You have something like this, right? You don't need electricity for it. Let's say you need to make a shelter. You have wood. Yeah, blizzards too. Um, but yeah, you need to make a shelter towards the end. This could really help you big time. This and an axe and a hammer. And you can make a hammer real easy. I take this, I drill a hole down, a piece of wood and I take another piece of wood, maybe with a knife or something like that, or I have a chisel or whatever, and whatever I use for sharp blade, and I put it down, take a split with a little piece of wood and a wedge, and I have myself a mallet. Mallet, which allows me to do the same thing to make a house. This helps me put holes in it to do that. That right there. Simple, easy, non-electric, old tools can make your life so much easier. I would rather have this than most other things for building a shelter. Simple, basic tools right here if you needed. You know, it's a simple old hand drill. No metal needed, just a loose wooden piece, make your life so simple. And yet you could survive very well. And it would be a quicker way for you to make something. You want to make a log cabin, something decent size, this would make it. Even a small one, you know. That's why I quote this, is because I've built a lot of things, and sometimes just having this quick shelters, this really works really well. Back when I was a kid, we used to play around with that. I actually built a little hunting cabin with this very tool, and I spent a whole day out there, and I did it. When I was younger, I used to hunt out behind the farm in the woods, and sometimes I wanted to stay out for a day or two. Um, or during hunting season, I might stay out there for a week. And it was a good place to get warm during the winter too. I mean, if you were out there in the woods, I mean, you could literally put a little wood stove, and there was a little brook near me where I could literally fetch water. I kept a bucket of water inside, a couple of buckets actually, just in case. Um, I took a shovel and actually dug up some stone. This is when I was a kid. Found the flattest pieces near the creek that I could find, and I literally laid it in the dirt. And then I built a cheap wooden cabin there, and I bought myself a wood stove at the time and piped it through. I did that as a kid with an adult, of course, and it took us a day, and I was being taught how to do that kind of thing. And the best tool we had was that little hand drill. And it was literally just so that we could have something to stay out there for a few days or get warm if we were out there for whatever reason, maybe bringing the cows back or something. And in the process, we needed to get warm. Um, and it would literally, you know, it worked really well. It took us a day to build the majority of it. It wasn't much. We put a cot in there. It was those little folding camping cots. Yeah, and it's not hard. There's so many ways you can do it. Um, I did a video once, a can oil lamp, I guess you would call it. You could actually look it up on my channel, and it's cheap. It's inexpensive. It just uses cooking grease and a little bit of vegetable oil and a cheap wick from twine, and it lights, gives off a small amount of heat, and it works. And I'm going to tell you, knowing how to do something simple like that, makeshift. It was literally a makeshift oil lamp. Um, and they work real well. Sometimes using clay. I mean, the cabin wasn't very insulated, but if you needed to get warm and start a fire, it was good for that. But yeah, Joe, you still there? Any questions? Anybody else have any questions or anything they want to talk about? I mean, I'm all ears. I'm basically just talking at this moment, trying to wait for you guys to talk to me and set up a conversation. Or please do. Again, I'll say it again. Come on up and have a conversation. I would love to do that. I'm waiting for someone who's really intelligent that could do that with me. or even fairly intelligent. I don't care. Somebody who can hold a conversation for 2 minutes. You know, yeah, that's something you can do. That's a very good suggestion. Um, but like I said, I'm looking for anyone who can. Amy, if you're still here, chime in if you want. I'm all ears. Anybody who comes, I mean, please come on, join the show. It's open to everybody. Um, well, we're going in between 2 and 3 people. Okay. Trying to keep this going, and I'm trying to keep this at a regular time. That's why I'm choosing between 8, 9, and probably canceling out before 10. Every night in case anybody's interested. If you like this, please like and subscribe. Share whatever you want. Uh, if you dislike it, hit the thumbs down. I don't care. At least that lets me know I had somebody have an opinion and watched it. You know what I mean? But yeah, uh, um, we can keep on going on about things that would actually help in like camping or survival situations if you guys want. I have no problem going through that. Um, Here's something I find that's very, very useful. A lot of people say bags of water. I don't really care for like water bottles or something like that. It's quick, it's easy, but I really don't like them too much. I'd like to have like a canteen, an actual canteen that I know isn't going to leak. I actually like those. Um, Water, going to try to do something. To come on. Oh, yeah, definitely. You're more than welcome. You want? I'll share the link again. Um, yeah, because I kind of feel like I'm dying here. But yeah, canteens and things like that to actually hold your water, and they're reusable and multiple times. I've heard a lot of people say water bottles and things like that, but an old-fashioned canteen, I think, works really, really well. Have a few of those on you if you can. They hold up to a lot. Even a flask, old-fashioned flask, water bladder, for that matter. Um, Guess Ryan's trying to do something. These are all things that go through. Like I said, a lot of people forget about the old-fashioned canteens. They had a screw on top, metal, might have had like a cloth patch around them, and you just poured water in them or filled them up at a stream in the old days. But it's safer to boil your water before you put it in, though. Um, as you don't want the parasites. If I see you come up, Ryan, I'll definitely add you once I see that you're on the thing. Um, but yeah, definitely, it's a good way to carry your water, and it's a good survival thing. Another thing I like are those multi tools. Okay, you get a knife that has like a saw blade, Swiss Army watch, or a Swiss Army knife for that matter would be a good one. But yeah, if you had like a knife that was like a saw and those hatchets and things like that. I like the idea of a multi-tool, but only because it's a multi-tool. I prefer an actual up hatchet or axe over them because they're less likely to break. Oh, it's okay, Amy. Um, I understand YouTube does its thing. Were you trying to come into the live stream, or were you just watching and it closed on you? Um, Sorry for that. YouTube does that stuff. But yeah, like I was saying, multiple ways to carry water. I would suggest any kind of powder drinks you have, just to spice up life. Think about it. If you're going through uh, a hardship, going through different places, trying to survive, everything that can bring a small amount of joy into your life, whether it's finding cookie dough somewhere, being able to make it, or whatever you're eating is good. You know what I mean? Instead of just like eating out of a can of whatever you can get, things like that will make your actual survival better than most things. I'll tell you that right now. Because if you were to literally try to go through life and you were miserable the entire way you were going through it, and something as simple as being able to eat a cookie, or being able to have something sweet or something nice that you like, that you would enjoy normally. Sometimes it's just as simple as being able to take a nice hot shower or a bath to relax you, you know? Um, those type of things will make your life better. The little comforts. So being able to do those little comforts to an extent, you know, nothing's going to be perfect if you're bugging out and you're on the run. Well, unless you have like a boat or something like that. I'm sorry. YouTube doesn't like certain people's devices sometimes. I've had it do a lot of things to me on mine, but yeah, uh, these are all things that you could do to make your life better. Um, so my suggestion would be like simple tools, like I suggested, a chisel, knives, uh, the drill that I just showed you. Um, I wouldn't even really maybe a small hammer, but other than that, I really wouldn't bring like a mallet because they're very easy to make. Like I said, literally, you find a round piece of wood that's thick enough and heavy enough. You cut it with a saw, and you literally get one of those multi tools, cut it with a handsaw, cut it down, um, put a hole through it, make some type of handle, slice it a little, put a wedge in it. You got yourself a mallet, you know? And you use a rock to put in the wedge if you don't have a hammer. Uh, so you can make that on the go. That's one of the reasons I don't worry too much about hammers. Hammers are easy to make. At least mallets. Maybe have a small metal hammer that you would carry around, 4 or 5 pounds. Yeah, definitely. I mean, getting a luxury. Let's put it this way. Okay, let's say you want a really nice hot tub. You right off the bat, if you were out in the woods, you built the cabin that I mentioned, right, or some type of shelter. That's really good. You found a place to stay. Let's say you want to be able to bathe, okay, and you want something that's hot, nice, hot, really good. You know, this is what I would suggest because it would work. I would literally take a few, maybe large stones, and do it in a nice little circle pattern or square. It doesn't really matter. And then I would literally on top of that, I would lay logs. Okay, I'm going to actually tell you how you do this. You lay logs, small sticks, logs, whatever you can find. Lay clay over that. All right. and use the clay. Try find the hardest clay you can and actually build it up so that you have a wall, something that you can sit in. It'd be round, whatever. And then when you're doing this, uh, temporarily put logs or whatnot over the top. Now you're going to have a cleaning mess here, but basically the idea is a stone wall around it kind of deal and stuff like that. And you have wood underneath it. Start a fire. Let it burn for a few days. Burn it, watch it, keep feeding the fire, keep heating it up. When you're done and that clay is completely dry, if you found like red clay, that is a nice way to just have a clay tub. And if it's hardened at the end, like a ceramic type deal, um, you could literally get into this. What you'd have to clean it out with whatever soot or ash or whatnot. But then once you've cleaned out the inside of it, you could start that fire again underneath it and continue this. This would allow you to have a hot bath, kind of like a jacuzzi without the water jets. Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, I was that's a good way to actually think about it. I mean, like I was thinking, like if you're out in the woods and you had the bare minimum, just what was on your back. But if you have the ability to have a truck radiator and blowing the heater through it, that's a good way to do that. But like I said, I'm thinking like bare minimum. But having that hot bath and being able to take that hot bath, if you're like out in the woods, that would be so relaxing. That would allow you to have like a little bit of normalcy. You have to work a little for it because you have to pour water in it. You have to get water to it. And then you're boiling water pretty much. And after you've boiled so much, add some cold until your liking. You know what I mean? But yeah, these are all things. If you even if you put like a little hole in it and you plugged it, that would work too to help out. Um, but that's what I'm talking about. Like in the long run, you want some form of relaxation to be able to do stuff. And a hot bath is really relaxing, especially it's actually sometimes they're better in something like that because it's like a big tub, you know, or a big swimming pool, and you're just getting that hot water in it. It's really nice, you know. In my case, with my ship, my boat, I won't be able to do bath, but I could do a shower and I could do a hot shower. Those type of things bring back the life. Like in the old days, if you think about it, a lot of sailors didn't be able to do something as simple as taking a shower. They might have took a sponge bath. They had to really preserve that fresh water that they might have on board because unless it rained, they really, really, really didn't have a way to get fresh water out in the middle of the ocean to even rinse off with. With a reverse osmosis, as long as I have fuel of some type, keep the batteries charged somehow, even if it's solar and wind, I can run that reverse osmosis out in the middle of the ocean, get myself some fresh water, take a freaking hot shower. You know, that's why I like the sailboats and RVs because they provide you with the similar luxuries that you would have had in a house. And on a long journey, that might be the way to go. But if you get stuck where you can't get to it, or maybe you get stuck out in the woods and you just want to add to it, these are things you can do. Um, but it's all up to you guys. I mean, these are thoughts and nothing more. It's my opinions and my thoughts. Well, that's a very good trait to teach someone. In my case, it wasn't really considered bugging out. I never actually thought of anything I was doing as bugging out until the last I don't know, 6, 7 years. Everything I was taught to do was just simple camping and survival in the worst case scenario. We never actually talked about it like bugging out, like you were running away. It was like, well, if worst came to worst and you were stuck out in the middle of a snowstorm somewhere, or if you were, stuck in a hurricane or something like that, that's how I was taught. Yeah, my family was ex-military too. But like I said, when I was a kid, we weren't taught like bugging out. It was just we were calling it survival, living and learning how to live off the land. You know, you know what I mean? It's how we referred to it. It was the same thing, but we didn't have the extreme definitions for it. It was actually our way of life in some case. I wasn't taught to shoot because they thought people might come up and try to attack me one day at my house other than maybe getting robbed. Yeah, exactly. But when I was taught to fire a weapon, I was taught because we had coyotes and because we hunted for food, you know. So learning how to use a 12 gauge and hunting at an early age was for that very reason. It was a means of this is our way of life. We have coyotes. We want to protect our well, we had goats, we had cows, we had a mixture of animals, and that's why we reason we used guns back then. Um, there was later on, probably in the '90s, thoughts about something like what would happen if people came on and we had issues where that they actually came on. I'll give you an example. Um, I think Amy got kicked off again, or she got bored. I don't know which. Um, where basically uh, people came on the property. Okay, at some points they actually tried to steal our animals, and we looked at it this way: you come trying to take our cows or our goats or something like that. Sometimes it was PETA because that's what PETA does. Uh, but uh, or they say it's groups of PETA. It's PETA regardless. I've seen PETA do bad things, and I know they're supposed to stand for good things. I believe in wise use, not no use. Okay, I'm for animals and that, but I believe in wise use. If you understand what I mean. If not, I'll get in more detail. But yeah, we use guns to chase them off. No playing around with that one. Um, yeah, people coming on the property that didn't belong. I didn't care. Shoot at them instantly. Um, Especially if they were allowed to go to a certain direction, like they could come up to the front door. We wouldn't shoot at them because who knows, you know. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so there's two kinds of PETA. There's two kinds. I remember back in the old days in the '90s, they when we first started really getting internet, I did like a basic search. I think it was Firefox at the time or AOL for PETA because they were coming up and messing with stuff. And two PETAs actually came up at the time. First, there was PETA, as you know, uh, which actually kind of was messed up in their case because I remember, not to be sidetracked, but I remember one of the farmers down the road had a couple of goats themselves, along with their cows, and they actually came in to the place with a baseball bat and practically beat the goat to death to try to make the farmer look like he was horrible, you know? Um, But in the other case, like I said, there was two Petas. So there was that PETA, and then there was the other PETA, which was people for eating tasty animals. It was kind of funny. I remember PETA got really mad at them for having the same name. People eating tasty animals or something like that. That was two types. Yeah, exactly. They come on, they yell that you're actually torturing the animals or something like that. And in some cases, yeah, they are. There are places, but it's usually not small farmers doing it. You know, it's not your homegrown farmer that does it. Usually people that have small farms, they love their animals. They do it because they love the animals. They love, living that lifestyle. Usually people that PETA should be going after is like Tyson. Okay, Tyson abuses cows and animals left and right like there's no tomorrow. I mean, just look at you want to see that. Just look at the factory farms. Uh, Factory farms are a horrible thing. I believe in free range chickens. Yeah, I have. Let's say I don't not anymore, but when I was a kid, we'd have 100 chickens. We had a small pen they could go out in, and it wasn't really a small pen. Well, it was about a good 10, 15-foot pen. And during the day, we'd actually open the door and they could go right out in the field. Yeah, the people like that should be shot. I believe anyone who's going to beat an animal with a hammer should be executed right on the spot. I won't deny it. You know, that's how I feel. I'm not planning any violence, just that's how I feel they should be done. However, you know, like I said, you have that, and they made it illegal to film that monstrosity because people were doing it and getting upset. But those are factory farms, and they never got damaged or hurt. But if you got a PETA member coming out filming or setting up stuff like that on your farm, your private small owned farm, it's perfectly legal for them to come on and do that. And yet these factory farms do horrible things. Yeah, there's some horrible families out there. I'm not going to say there aren't bad people. Um, but a lot of them are it's a messed up situation where you have people that are literally doing like really bad things. Like, okay, I'll give you an example of one thing PETA had a problem with. We had a cow. She came with the name Chitamani. Okay, she was a Holstein, and they wanted me to always bring this cow in. Yeah, exactly. Killing family farms, but leaving the corporations. Anyways, we had this Holstein, and it was my job to always go get this cow out in the field and bring her into milk. Now, here's the thing: if I didn't go out there, this cow would not come in for milking. She would not. And for whatever reason, she had this thing where I literally had to run and chase her as a kid for about a good 10 to 15 minutes, and I would never catch her. Everybody that Peter was like, well, he's chasing the cow. But here's the thing: about 10 to 15 minutes of a good run with me, this cow would literally turn around after I said, I give up, and start walking back to the barn. And she'd literally walk up next to side of me, just walk in and get milk. The cow wanted to run. She thought it was a game. It was play for her, you know? and they thought that was a bad thing, right? Well, the animal's not actually being hurt, and it's actually what the animal wants. That's why they always send me out there because they encouraged me to chase her because she was always playing. Like she would come up to me if I started to ignore her, and then she'd run away. And then when I finally got tired after 10, 15 minutes, she'd walk up, nuzzle me, and walk into the damn barn. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. It's a game for them. As long as you're not like bringing a big stick and trying to beat them or a hammer or something like that, like you said with the other guy, you know, then yeah, I see no problem in running down a cow that wants to play. you know. But I can't stand PETA, not because they're against the cruelty to animals, because if it was just that, I'd say yeah. But I believe in wise use. Yeah, I believe in wise use. I'm not against the idea of slaughtering animals, farming animals, or anything like that. I'm against an idiot that actually like goes up to my neighbor and beats my neighbor's goat half to death to make it look like it. That's torturing the animal. I'd rather have somebody put the animal out, for food, put a bullet in them, slice their neck, humanely, and slaughter the animal and eat it versus torturing it. And that's why I don't like PETA because I know they torture animals. They're supposed to be for humanity, but they torture. And I'm completely against the torture. I don't believe in torturing animals. That's where I put it. There's a difference between torture and slaughter. That's my belief. That's how I think of it. You know what I mean? We're back down to one. Well, we had some people tonight, Ryan. We had some people for a little while. We have like 4 or 5 people. I let people know that the stream was going to be on, you know? Yeah, that I honestly, I didn't know that they ever stopped horse slaughter in general. Um, Me growing up, it still went on. It just wasn't a big thing. Yeah. Um, like horse slaughter was not a really big thing. I didn't care for horse meat. I didn't know too many people that ate horse. I knew they used them in the glue factory and for dog food when I was growing up. But most horses, uh, we generally used them unless it was like to put them out of their misery. We never used them for food or anything like that, personally. Yeah, I've kind of noticed that. I think that's YouTube. And now that now that I've had you confirm that, now I know that for fact because you said, like you said, it's a comment before I even notice. Yeah, meat's meat. Well, there's certain meat I won't eat, but it's more of taste. I just never cared for horse meat. I've tried it. Just like I don't like lamb chops. There are a lot of people out there that love lamb or mutton, sheep. And I just don't like the taste. I don't like the taste of goat. And I mean, if I had to survive, I'd eat anything except for human. I would never be able to get myself to eat human. Right. I'll go to settings. I didn't know how to actually do that. Uh, general settings. Okay. Hang on. I'm looking. It says for general settings, it says shift video up for comments and banners. I turn that off. Audio advisor, and I could turn this all on later. Automatically add and share screen videos to stream. Oh, let's take it all down and see. Well, actually, let's read what this is. When I'm going to read it out in the thing, it gives me something to talk about. When you share a screen or video, will automatically add it to the stream. Display this if you want the, I can't understand that word, up and share screen or videos with showing it right away. This does not affect guests' screens are never added automatically. Okay. Audio advisor. Show an avatar when a user's camera is off. Uncheck this if you want the user to be completely hidden when their camera is off. Okay, well, I don't care about that. Uh, that's a beta thing. All right, what's this? Automatically shift videos up to avoid converting guests in certain layouts. All right, well, fine. That can go back. That's how it was, anyways. That's high def. This quality is so. Uh, they're not letting me deal with this beta. What is this? Useful if you need to do post and product editing. Okay, that was that. What's this guest thing? Guest see viewers' comments. Play a sound when a guest enters. Why not? This plays a sound when a guest enters the studio. Useful if you won't be looking at your StreamYard when live. Okay. Guests must authenticate. What is this? Require all your guests to authenticate with YouTube or Facebook. This is required if you want the ability to ban guests from your studio. Well, I don't have that problem anymore, anyways. Banned guest. No, I don't want to ban anybody right now. Okay, that's all it's got for settings there. Shoot. Yeah, I'm pretty much with you on the cannibal thing. Well, it's just, old sheep. So it's like lamb chops but older. And I don't know how to uh invite a guest and see how this layout is. Okay. 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 Done. Uh, hey Ryan, are you still there? Do me a favor. I'm gonna post this thing again. Uh, or try to come up here if you can. Oh no, don't. Okay, I'm back. Uh, shoot. I don't have too much I can do here. Yeah, yeah, no, I accidentally went off here. I'll post this again. Do me a favor. Just see if you can actually come up. I don't care if you leave your screen blank or you don't say anything. I just want to try. Reshared the link. I don't know what I can do. Let's try settings here. This is Google service. No, that don't do anything here. Um, if you can, just like I said, I don't care if you mute things or what. This is layout. Uh, yeah. Uh, Let me know if you've tried, because yeah. But you could click the thing that says StreamYard.com, blah blah blah, that I posted, right? No, 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 no. Oh, come on, don't mess with me. Sorry, it's a learning experience. If you hear me, if you don't hear me, I'm sorry. Enter studio. Enter. Yeah. Oh, there you are. Ah, you didn't leave, did you? Oh no, this is okay. Well, I can bring myself up here. Okay, this is weird. Um, all right. You hear me okay? Yeah, yeah, it did something here. I'm not exactly sure what I did. Hey guys, there's two of me. I mean, this is all through one system. Kind of a little echo here. Uh, okay. How do I get my guest stuff out? Okay, well that's there.